occupies all the sites in a competitive manner. So say one person in this room was naltrexone and all the other were morphine, morphine would win. If it's 50-50, there will be no effect at all. So it's completely competitive, and it can replace, morphine can come in and push naltrexone out. On top of that, there are further complications. If all the receptor sites are occupied by a high dose of naltrexone, the body sees this and says, hang on, everything's blocked, we have to make more receptors, and it actually starts to make its own receptors, and not in equal numbers. So this may explain, it certainly, I feel, completely explains why high doses of naltrexone do not work the same way as low doses. An interesting point that I would like to ask is why other drugs of a similar nature haven't been used as much. Naloxone being the obvious example. It's another very simple, soluble, stable drug. Naltrexone is stable, it is soluble, and it's a very fast-acting drug. That's key, because you don't want it to linger around and cause eternal blockade of the receptors, because that effect of the new receptors being made will come about. It's expiring stability and formulations. I want to look at that because there are a lot of different formulations being proposed and being talked about. A lot of homemade preparations. The good news is most of them are relatively stable. Naltrexone is a small molecule, and it's relatively small when I speak in terms of proteins and insulin being massive molecules. Naltrexone is complicated but not very, and it's both fat and water soluble, which is a key property, meaning it can be used in transdermal preparations, which not every drug can be. Transdermal meaning you put on a sample of the drug on the skin in the right vehicle and it will pass into the bloodstream. Quite a lot of drugs will do that. Some we don't want to, and many we do. Obviously there are better or worse carriers, and Skip is a bit of an expert when it comes to the transdermal and like the preparation of products that will go through the skin. It's a very new science in Ireland. QM, I don't know if they've got into that yet, so it'd be interesting to ask Dave or Akram if they do transdermal preparations yet, but certainly there are cases where people can't swallow or are unable to swallow, and drugs may be of a benefit in a carrier if it goes through the skin. Naltrexone is stable up to 90 days in water. It actually has been tested 70 degrees centigrade in water and has been stable for up to 30 days. The maximum pharmaceutical, legally the maximum pharmaceutical of a hand-prepared product will be 30 days anyway, so it's certainly stable for up to 30 days as long as it's stored in the dark. So if people are concocting something at home or putting tablets in water, my advice would be keep it in the dark and keep it in the fridge. In dry powder, the stability is almost indefinite. When I say indefinite, I'm not using a loose term there. Really, in the industry term, that means in 5 years, 95% of the drug is still patent. And that is, from what I read, that is the stability of naltrexone powder. It is, however, hygroscopic, which means it attracts water and then dissolves in it. It's a bit like me on Friday night, I attract Guinness and dissolve in it. I had a link here for, I don't know if it would work, but it's, I wanted to show you the molecule. Let's see if it'll work. No, I didn't. But the molecule is so similar to morphine, it's incredible. So we'll move on. So the forms of naltrexone being used, the most commonly ones, are number one, liquid. It dissolves in water. If you blog a lot of the websites, and God knows there are a huge number of websites now, a lot of people are getting the tablets and then the 50 milligram tablets in a relatively fast release form and dissolving in water. They're basically cutting their own, mainly because of economics. The drug is so expensive to buy handmade, except for a few exceptions like Skip who provide it in America at incredible prices. We don't have the market or the numbers yet. I think he said he had 8,700 doctors. I have about the same number minus